bathing suit models shouldn't be deciding on whether men go to war. Yet here we are, living in an idiocracy where that's exactly what's happening. We got a congresswoman, Anna Paulina Luna, who once modeled swimsuits, now holding political power. This madness could only exist in a nation spoiled by an abundance of riches, so spoiled that we've forgotten our roots and the natural order of things. The controversy around Luna exploded when a 2016 video of her in a mega one-piece swimsuit resurfaced, stirring up a debate that should never have been necessary. Elijah Schaffer, who is great, I'm a big fan and supporter, but we disagree here. He tried to signal virtue and brush it off, saying on X she was a bathing suit model. As someone who lives by a beautiful beach, this isn't news, this is just people enjoying a sunny day. At Real Anna Paulina has a nearly perfect voting record, and this does nothing but distract from the good work she's doing in Congress for MAGA. No amount of good work changes the fact that a bathing suit model shouldn't be voting on sending men to war. If there were an election to decide who could coach and play in the NFL, and 28% of the coaches or players chosen were women, that would be pretty problematic. Currently, 28% of Congress are women. Similarly, if you said bikini models shouldn't fight men in the UFC, it wouldn't be controversial. These examples illustrate the absurdity of our current situation. Sure, Luna served our country, and you could say the same about Tulsi Gabbard, but the truth is that 95% of our political representatives should be men. It's not about attacking women. It's about acknowledging biological and historical truths that have shaped societies for centuries. Serena Williams herself has been candid about the differences between men's and women's sports. In a 2013 appearance on the Late Show with David Letterman, she said, "If I were to play Andy Murray, I would lose 6-love in 5 to 6 minutes, maybe 10 minutes." She added, "The men are a lot faster, they serve harder, they hit harder. It's just a different game, and I love to play women's tennis." Even Williams, a legend in her sport, acknowledges the physical differences that make men and women's sports almost like two separate worlds. This extends beyond physical differences to cognitive and performance gaps as well. While cultural and social arguments are often cited for the separation of men's and women's chess, there are also biological and tangible arguments to consider. One such argument is cognitive variability. The idea that men exhibit greater variability in cognitive abilities with more men at both the high and low extremes. This could result in a higher number of men at the top levels of chess, justifying separate competitions to ensure fair representation. Additionally, historical performance gaps reveal that the top echelons of chess have been dominated by men, with very few women reaching the highest ranks. This historical trend is used to argue for separate competitions, allowing women to achieve recognition and success in a parallel competitive environment. In this experiment, we've volunteered for where we have an abundance of electricity, food, water, clothes, and no real struggle. We've become soft. John B. Calhoun's Rat Utopia experiment showed that when provided unlimited resources, societies can collapse when their members become too comfortable. Today, young men are growing up more feminine than women. Walk into any high school and you'll notice half the boys are halfway to gay. This isn't just a random observation, it's the result of living in a world where the tough battles have been replaced by cultural decay. The collapse isn't just social, it's political too. If only women voted in the 2020 election, Joe Biden would have won by a landslide with 458 electoral votes compared to Donald Trump's 80. One more time, I repeat and listen to the numbers. If only women voted in the 2020 election, Joe Biden would have won by a landslide with 458 electoral votes compared to Donald Trump's 80. You wonder why we're so involved in wars today. It doesn't matter if you like Trump or not. They are both pro-war, but Biden is objectively more pro-war than Trump, and that's why we're involved. Everyone talks about gender care and these gender issues, but why are they even issues because of women? If women didn't vote or didn't have political power, these wouldn't be issues. Men don't support these things. This cultural and political collapse is most glaring when you look at what we've done to men in entertainment. Every movie today seems to replace the male hero or make him submissive to a dominant woman like Reva did in the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV show. It's a calculated effort to reshape society, making us think men can be replaced in every role. We've become so accustomed to this nonsense that we're now voting women into positions of power even when it makes no sense. Luna's election is a perfect example of how this madness plays out. You can argue about the few women who might be exceptions, but the reality is that our political system is broken when more than 5 out of 100 politicians are women. This type of thinking could only happen in a spoiled nation where abundance has led us to forget our roots. If the electrical grid went out tomorrow, women wouldn't be deciding whether we go to war or not. We're back to primal instincts. Women would value strong men, and if violence and rioting happened, they'd be in the back where they belong during a kinetic battle, quiet unless they're the rare exception like Brienne of Tarth. In the Battle of Bull Run, the first major conflict during the Civil War, neither side had a swimsuit model as general. There were no women fighting. Men go to battle. Men should lead other men in battle. Congress should be authorizing war. Only men should be in that position to authorize it. Men and women are different, each with their strengths and weaknesses, and the world is out of balance until we acknowledge that. We don't see men and women playing sports together because it's dangerous for women. Men are stronger. That's a fact. Somehow, though, we think it's okay for women to lead us into war. It's the peak of wokeness, and it's a dangerous path. Join the conversation on Middle MAGA on YouTube, where we dig into the issues others avoid and bring the truth to light, no matter how uncomfortable it might be. The fall of our country is on men. We are the ones voting women into power, but women share in the blame for their role. When women are leading us into battles they can't win, while they aren't even forced to sign up for selective service, it's time to reconsider who we're putting in charge.
Middle MAGA.